Hello there, folks. Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Koei Tecmo Europe for Neo 2, the complete edition, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now we have something special for you. We've got M&M's Shell Shocked with KingRhodesTN. Take it away.
Hey, thank you, Time Sim. So I am KingRhodesTN, and this is M&M Shell Shock, and this is a game. If you've not seen this before, y'all are in a treat. This is some ultimate hype here. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of like jump right into the game here. We're gonna do a countdown because the first few stages are kind of an auto scroller, so we'll just go into that. All right, so if we're ready, we got 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so M&M's has, I think, 8 stages in 3 like levels inside each stage, or 3 acts, or 8 acts and 3 stages, whatever you want to call it. The worst part about this M&M game, if you call it the worst part, because there's going to be some very, very bad janky parts here. It's the first 3 stages. We're driving a car. So the lore behind this M&M's game is that Yellow has released the M&M Minis to run the M&M's factory. And the M&M Minis are crazy little individuals, and they're essentially destroying the factory, and Red is super angry at Yellow. So our job is to get back. That's what we're doing right now, is we're getting back to the M&M's factory. And then we got to get through the factory and essentially stop the Minis. Even though we don't ever really fight the Minis, like the Minis aren't really bad guys in a way. There are boss fights in this game. Don't really know how they do anything with the game. As you get on into this game, you're going to see that it looks very similar to another game that you guys have seen from this era. So this is a PS1 game. We do play on PS2. We play on PS2 because it's actually faster load time. So when I decided to pick up this game, I actually didn't know what fast disk speed was at the time. And I was doing a bunch of runs, and I was always like, wait, why is the top runs that are in this game right now significantly faster than mine? And I was comparing load times, and that was a big issue with that. If you run fast disk speed, I think it saves like 2.5 minutes over the entire run. So it's definitely much faster to run on PS2 than it is on PS1, even though this is a PS1 game. So we're getting close-ish to the end of the first stage. So the first 3 stages, again, are car levels. The parts 2 and 3 are significantly shorter than this part. There isn't a ton of obstacles, but if you hit anything, you do have to restart from a checkpoint. Deaths in this game aren't super punishing. You just kind of replay a small little section. There are tons and tons of checkpoints throughout the whole stage. They're designed by the little blue marker that's on the bottom there, on the floor, that you'll see a bunch of. But that's level 1. So not too bad. So as you can see, the name of the stages, they are Get Out of Town. I'll go through each part here. But they're the same name each stage. It's like Get Out of Town 1, Get Out of Town 2, and so forth. So that's really all this is. So this level's got more vehicles that we have to dodge. There's these bikers. There's a lot more buses, a lot more cars. This stage is a little bit more challenging. I'd say this is probably the most challenging stage of the 3. There's actually a few tight turns. These cars will actually change lanes. Some of them will. The good thing about this is this traffic, as you would call it, is the same every single time. So it's not like I have to kind of adjust. Most of the time you can kind of half pay attention through this and you're fine. Doesn't mean I won't take damage or, actually die, because you can't take damage in the car. You'll automatically reset. But there's a checkpoint right there, so we're going good so far. Ideally, it's better to keep Yellow in the middle of the road. Easier to dodge some of the obstacles, and I'm assuming it feels like he goes faster if you're going straight. Straight line, fast things, point A to point B, stuff like that. So we're making good time. We're already at the end of the stage. We got to hit this little black box, which gives us a spring power-up, which we're going to see like one other time. It makes the car jump, and that's the end of stage 2. So there we go. Making good time already. Fantastic stuff. So now we're into stage 3. And I always think that little guy, green guy on the left, that looks like one of the Battletoads. I always feel like that's a Battletoads character, but and I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because this game is a ripoff of another game, as again you're going to see here in the next 2 minutes. All right, so we got a giant cow whose head is bigger than literally the motorcycles themselves. I don't know what world M&M's is in. I figured M&M's was taking place in, you know, our actual world, but obviously it's not, with cows that big. There he is back again, running around. He's going to take out that biker, bend over and graze on the cement because I guess that's food. And we're going to keep going. So, I almost actually died there. These boxes carry a different amount of, I guess you'd say, M&M minis. Because that's what what's kind of going through there. 100 gives us a free life. Lives for this run are not an issue. If I were to end up, for any means, be getting the game over, we would mercy kill that run a long time ago at this point. If you ever play this game and you decide to get a game over, it's nice because it just takes you out of the level and you gotta start the level over. So it's not like you start like a world over or an act over again. You just literally start the previous stage that you're in all over from the beginning. Now, in my casual playthrough of this game, I did get a ton of game overs. This game is a little bit challenging just because of the janky physics, and I'll explain more of that when we get to those certain levels. But we jumped this gate, and we're at the end of stage 3 once we come up, and we're going to run directly into this little fountain statue yellow, just whatever. It's a great face yellow. And there we go. Now we're here in our little vehicle. Now comes the real gameplay. All right, so there are cutscenes. I'm only going to watch one cutscene. That's like 2 seconds. That's after these stages. It's my favorite cutscene, and you'll see why. So now we're into milk chocolate. So now, as you're going to see, we are basically playing... Wait for it. We're playing Crash Bandicoot, but we're as yellow. This game is basically a Crash Bandicoot reskin with terrible graphics and terrible physics. And that's all I can really say about that. As you can see, we have a red bomb crate, not TNT, but bomb. And we will get green danger crates instead of the nitro crates. So when I mean this is a Crash Bandicoot reskin, this is a Crash Bandicoot reskin. I would not be surprised, and I've never taken the time to go through and do this, but if you were to go through and like legitimately try to match up some levels, there's a few levels that look or feel similar to actual Crash levels. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if someone said, oh yeah, the creators opened the game up and had Crash sitting right next to him, because it definitely feels like it. So essentially the biggest obstacle in this game, just like any game, is not dying. That's, you know, of course. But really there's not much that we can do trick-wise. There's one trick that I'm going to try to show off that normally loses me a ton of time, or like loses me time itself. Oh, I didn't make the jump. Hey, we reached a checkpoint though, so there we go. That's what happens when you die. Yellow just says oops, and we start from the checkpoint. We just came short up on that jump there, so not a big deal. But there's not really a lot of tricks. There's, you know, strats of hugging certain walls and just really it's just not dying. This game definitely, have never had a deathless run of this game. I am the current world record holder. There was a few people that ran this game back in last January. We had a little competition amongst a bunch of us, and we actually were able to, a few of us were able to actually get the world record and then trade the world record back and forth for a little bit. But then since then, it's definitely, you know, not many people actually play this game. That's end of Milk 1. All right. So it's been pretty fun, but back to what I was saying there. I have not had a deathless run of this game. I think my world record has like 1, maybe 2 deaths at the end of the game. The levels do ramp up in difficulty, like right at the end. The last 2 of the last 3 stages are the hardest stages in the whole game, which, you know, a lot of games you think should be like that anyways. But it really ramps up the difficulty from like, oh, this game's all right, to just like, what in the world am I starting to play right now? But we have the spring power up. You saw it when we were in the vehicle. Now we're actually using the jump. There's not a real reason we grabbed it. It's just kind of in our way, so we just kind of spin and get it. Doesn't make this section easier. You don't go any faster. We do have a helmet. I didn't mention that. That's kind of like our Aku Aku mask. However, we cannot stack helmets, so it's not like we can get invincibility or anything along those lines there. All right, we will see the first usage of speed shoes as well coming up shortly here, and we will see kind of a little mini special area. So just like Crash, you have those secret teleporter areas, and we're going to get one here shortly. So we're going to kill this little magnet mouse. I call it like a magnet rat. Get our checkpoint. We're going to run, jump through, kill this guy here, and teleport. We're going to hold A to jump off the box, so we can basically sprint right to this area here. And the same thing there. So if you hold A, you automatically get a jump. So we kind of buffer a jump to go through there. And that's Milk 2! There we go. So now what we got here is our first actual boss fight. There's technically a skip in this boss fight, so we could actually kill the boss, right? And you know, like you're supposed to stuff. So if you see to my right, there's little milk chocolate falling from the sky. Because we're gonna run alongside this. I get it first try. I think I got it like second try in practice a few minutes ago. We got to get on the very edge of this platform. I think we're good. We're gonna run from this part up here, and we made it across. We don't need to kill the boss. We damaged the boss, but we don't need to kill him. So we skipped the boss fight there. Doesn't save us a ton of time, but it's still faster than, oh, I skipped my cutscene. I guess we have to reset. I just got all hyper in the mood. So this stage is called Oh Shoot. All right. So literally yellow comes on screen and goes, oh shoot. And that's just like my favorite cutscene. It just cracks me up every time. But sadly, I got impatient and we just skipped it because I'm used to just smashing X through the whole intros and everything there. But this, ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so as you can see, we talk about jank. The physics in this game are super jank. I hate all momentum in this game. These two stages in boss fight's pretty easy, but these two stages are probably my least favorite because we're on a conveyor belt. As you can see, this conveyor belt is going the opposite direction we are walking. So that means we literally are walking against ourselves. So we're just walking here and it's all this momentum going against ourselves. So if we jump, we basically stall out in the air. If we move on a conveyor belt, move in the opposite direction and jump, we actually get like launched forward. So it's very, very important to know what kind of platform you're on and at what time to help us get through the stage. So I hate walking through this. It's not fun. That stuff on the side does kill you. There is all death planes everywhere. If you don't think there's a death plane there, 90% chance of death plane. I just died and didn't grab the checkpoint. Look at that. Let's go. That's what we're talking about, jank. Couldn't see exactly where we were at. I went for the checkpoint. Normally, you can actually walk off the edge and grab the checkpoint. But there we go. It's not like it's a super far checkpoint. But it's still better than dying here. Come on. There we go. That's fine. I'd take the death. Because this next section also has some janky movement, and we'll see that here in a second. So we have to jump along the side, essentially. So I pause my movement to help slow myself down. We go along these boxes here. Yellow's are actually moving forward, and I'm not trying to move forward. Just because his momentum got so good, it like stored his momentum, and he just kept going. Okay, we made it through here, and that's essentially the end of the stage, so now we're good here. We got a helmet power up, jump right over this, and we're money. Oh shoot, 1 is in the books. That was an unfortunate death there, too. But yeah, there's just death planes everywhere. In the ceiling, in the floor, off to the side, next to a box that you're trying to grab. It's just, it's crazy. Weird glitches, all that can happen too. If you get hit by an enemy, it can actually shoot you in a random direction sometimes, and you just get killed when you get hit by an enemy if you have a power-up. So sometimes having a helmet actually just kills you because you just end up dying after you take damage. Which kind of happened when I had those... I got hit by a damage box, or a danger box last stage. It kind of had a weird momentum after I got hit there. It almost launched me away. But we're making our way through Oh Shoot 2. We're killing these enemies here. Guy's going to jump out right there. We're going to kill him. Jump over. That's a death plane right there. Like, literally, that's a death plane just in the middle of the floor. He throws us a danger crate, but we're sly enough to dodge that little bug. He's going to walk, but he's going to come back out and be like, surprise, I'm here. But we're just going to jump over that. We're going to skip the checkpoint because the end of the stage is right here. We don't need no sneaking checkpoint. And that's the end of Oh Shoot 2. Okay, so this boss, it's an easy boss, but if I mess it up a little bit, I can get thrown off. But let's see, we make sure we stay on cycle here. So all this boss is we walk against the conveyor belt. We got to hit these TNT crates or bomb crates, and they got to hit the boss. After this third hit, I hit my controller 5 times. I stutter step 5 times, so that way he runs right into the box. The key is to stop moving. We have to stop moving. if we don't stop moving and we hit another bomb crate, the bomb will blow up the moment we transition and actually kill us. I have lost runs because I kept running and then didn't realize, oh, shoot. I'm supposed to stop running there. Also, where we left that exit, if I decide to jump around for some reason and get those boxes, there's actually no floor there. And you will just fall through the bottom of the map. So it's just, it's a game. So we're at Candy Colors. This is probably my favorite levels of the game. I like Candy Colors. They're not too bad. There's a few little small optimizations that we do here that can cause us to die. So let's hopefully we don't die here. This first spot's also, we're going to get speed shoes here. And we could also die here because we go too fast for our own good. So I want to stay in the middle as my objective. I don't want to spin and get any crates. And I died. Okay, so now we're going to skip the speed shoes this time. Those enemies are actually in random places, the way they move around, unfortunately. So I can't always gauge where they're at. And you move so fast, you're out of sight of the screen. So I actually can't see where they're going to be at. So we're going to skip the shoes this time so that way we actually can see where we're going. We don't want to take a second death. Hopefully, we almost still took a second death there. Oh, okay. See, that time he was to the bottom right there. That guy likes to spin around the checkpoint. I've lost many runs to him there. This is one of the first times I've actually taken this slow, so some of these enemies are even more unique spots than I'm used to as well. So right here is where the speed shoes would normally run out. So you can see that we definitely lost a little bit of time going through there. We want to make sure we stay a little bit to the right here when we make this upcoming jump. Not this one, but the next one right here. Because those like little stalagmites, stalactites, whichever one it is, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. They're hanging from the ceiling. Someone can correct me there, give us some good job, drop some hot science knowledge in the chat for us. You can actually get stuck on there. But now we're walking on the side of the conveyor belt. That's not the floor. And this one we're gonna do the same thing. Can we get there? Oh, we are. A good spot. We're just basically walking on the air. So it's got a collision, so we're just gonna walk along that. We don't have to wait for the paint to drop because the paint does kill you on impact. I'm on a bad cycle here. Can I stay? We're good. Okay. And that's the end of the level. Very nice. So now we're in Candy Colors 2. Okay. So now we're going through here. There's more of the same, like we're getting shot by paint cannons. Essentially, if you get hit by the paint cannons, you die. This next boss, we're actually going to try a skip that I don't ever go for. It's not like a hard skip, but you just get it or you just don't. We tried practicing it a ton and doing a certain setup, and we can never get a consistent setup. So I also could die at the end of after getting the skip, which is also kind of funny, which will make a lot more sense when we get there. But for this, we're going to walk along the edge of the wall again so we can avoid all the paint, make a couple of jumps. Hopefully don't get hit by this danger crate. Okay, I have definitely just ran into that guy before. Same thing, walk along the edge. As long as you're basically on these rectangles here, you're fine. Sideways jump, get the momentum. I'm out of control, and we're good. Okay, checkpoint. Woo! I was honestly expecting to die right there, so I'll take it. Oh, I almost short jumped there. All right, so we're gonna jump here. If you spin and as you're landing, it will stop your momentum there.
Oops.
When we died. All right, so we're keeping going here. Same thing. This time, let's not take damage right there. I'm gonna wait for him there. He was in the middle, so it's hard to spin as we were going there. Oh, give me the checkpoint, please, and thank you. Actually, I don't know why I grabbed that. It's in the stage. We don't need no checkpoints. I guess I'm a little scared there. That's unfortunate.
Let me know when you've got a second for a quick word.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, just to remind everyone that you are watching ESA Winter 21. We're raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. We've got 27,755 at the moment. So if we can just nudge that towards the 28,000, maybe by the end of the run, that would be absolutely fantastic. So please keep those donations coming in. Thank you so much.
So now we're on the boss fight. So we're trying to skip here. So what can happen is we can actually jump over the wall. Oh, looky there. We got to skip. That's a lot sooner than I normally get to skip. I don't ever get to skip that fast. Let's go. Normally it does take a lot longer. So we just jumped over the wall. So basically what happens is he's able to clip himself like, I don't know. I honestly, I can't even explain it. It's just, we clip ourselves and we were able to get a jump at the top of the wall and there's no wall up top. So you just saw the only like big actual skip in the game, if you can call it a skip. All my runs basically have the normal boss fight, which there's like a little quick kill strat anyways, so it's not like it saves that much time. And it's not worth, in my opinion, to go for in a run unless at some point I decided, or if anyone ever picks us up and you go deathless and you need to save an extra 5 seconds or something like that. But I'm glad we pulled it off. That's pretty sick. Pretty sick. All right, so we're now into, I already forget the name of these levels here. Stampin and Sortin. Stampin and Sortin, and it lives up to its name because as you can see, there's little platforms there. They definitely want to stamp us. A lot of them come down, they try to hit us. Our goal is to keep this helmet to the end of the stage. Basically for this part right here coming up, there's going to be Danger Crate Fallen. If I'm off on a pattern, it can fall on my head. And at the same time, I want to run through here. So now I don't have to pause. I can just take damage. Actually, I lied. Just kidding. And we're done the stage. We didn't even need it. Let's go. Didn't even need it. All right, so now we're on a Stampin' and Sortin' 2. So it's more of the same here. This stage, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think where I'm at. This is one of the longer stages of the game. That's what I remember. This definitely gives me a Crash Bandicoot feel, like this kind of closer sideways movement. I feel like it's like a Fusion Frenzy or some type of level like that. I feel like there's a stage in Crash that definitely reminds me a lot of this. So we're gonna jump on these boxes. We're gonna go for a small little risky strat, otherwise I'll have to play the beginning again. So here's a checkpoint right to our left, right there. We're gonna skip that and say we don't need no checkpoint and hopefully make it through this part. That's fine. Normally what I would normally do there is I used to actually jump short of that, and without a helmet you can die to the ground and you don't actually get a hit, so we should be fine now. But you can actually jump around because there's not really any collision on the outside of the wall. Like there's nothing stopping me from hitting the wall, so we're golden. We can just run off the platform and jump on the next one here. There's one other instance of that. Also, if we hug the wall, most of the time we won't die. I'm going to pause just in case. I have gotten hit in here before, so I'm just going to kind of... Better be safe than sorry. But this whole stage is literally back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Killing these enemies. The key here is you don't really want to jump at the end. So when we talk about jank, if I were to jump here and I go too fast at this spot right here, you can actually just fall through the ground. You completely just fall through that platform just because M&Ms at this point. That's my only explanation for stuff. It's an M&M's game. Like, well, you don't need an explanation. We don't deserve an explanation if you're playing an M&M's game like this. But we wait 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and we fall and we go to the next spot. I'm going to grab that again. I don't really need that because the next checkpoint's coming up. But again, you never know. I did take damage here in practice. Now we're good. We're going on up to the top. Grab our little checkpoint and our helmet, which we shouldn't need. I almost literally said that and took damage, so that would have been embarrassing. We're going to finish the stage coming up. It's at the end of this. So this was a pretty long stage, as you can see, compared to what we've been playing. Down the hole, through the stage, and we're moving on. So now this is 30 more, three more boss fights, something like that. We have a boss fight here. That's not an actual boss fight per se. You don't do anything but run away from the boss. I don't know the reasons behind any of these bosses. Like, none of them make sense, to be honest. Why is a Stampin' and Sortin, you know, a boss just chasing you? I feel like you should have been trying to get attacked from the sky and something like that, and something try to stamp you and crush you. I don't know. But we're just running away. There's 3 sections to this, so you just need to run away. We go left, right, left. The last section I do have a chance of dying on, just because it does get quite a bit harder. These conveyor belts you kind of want to jump off of to actually get some speed boost. So you could call this essentially an auto scroller because you're just getting chased side to side. You can't really speed it up, but if you make slight jumps on those speed sorry, these platforms here, I'll get a little bit of momentum to push me forward, just a little. Not a lot, just a little. Making our way through, we keep going. We're approaching the end. I've died right here before because of deception. Not deception. Of depth perception. Combining words here. I've had a long day already, and it's only 2 o'clock my time, like 2:40-ish my time here. So still a lot of the day left. So forgive me here if we mix up on some words. So we're in the final phase of this boss here. Those pushers can actually push me off. Oh, I got hit by a box and stopped momentum. That was super scary. We're going. One of these last pushers right here. We actually timed it well. Now we go off these boxes. We hit the boxes, and we're home free. Let's go. Finishing the run here. All right. So now we're in to pack it in. We have 3 more acts remaining. All right, pack it in. It's not too bad. Pack it in 2 is kind of tough. Pack it in 1. Let's just not die at the beginning. Fingers crossed, because I walked backwards here. I could randomly take damage from a danger crate or that guy. So let's make sure we want the helmet, and we're good. Okay. We still got to finish the level, obviously, but that's a good start. We can do that there. I'm jumping on this conveyor belt because it's pushing me forward, so I got a little bit of speed boost every single time I jump there. We do want to keep this helmet as long as we can. Most stages, we want to keep it as long as we can. There's not really a damage boost too much, just because of how, again, janky the physics are, even with damage. Ooh, that was close. That section right there, when you start moving up on the platform, it moves you faster. So that's nice. I'm going to go here. Good timing. Okay, jumping around. We could damage boost here off to the side. I'm going to try jumping here. Hey, we didn't take damage. Let's go. Sometimes you take damage, sometimes you don't. It just depends on what the game's feeling like in that day. And today we're lucky. This guy hits those crates. We get another checkpoint. We're going to jump off this dude's face. Normally we grab that box, which is another helmet. So just in case we lose a helmet, we have one there. I got to wait on this platform to come back. You can actually catch that first cycle. You can catch that first cycle, which is crazy speed. Oh, that threw me off. I'm going to wait here. This is the last section. I want the helmet for this part specifically. This guy can be a little bit of a troll. I took damage, so that's why we have our helmet. So now we're going to go a little bit slow here just so we can make sure we get through this. I want a regular box. Any regular box. There we go. Because if not, I would have started that section over again, and I would not have had my helmet, so I could have died 2 or 3 more times there. So we're good. And then we get the lone robot just chilling there, watching us at the end, like letting us go through. So now we're back into Pack It In 2. Pack It In 2. All right, so Pack It In 2 has some odd jumps. There is like a tough section. Let's see if we can get through this here, see what we can do. So these platforms, again, when I'm starting to, when it rises, I can jump. It just propels me that much more higher. So I can't jump when it's going down. The momentum, I get literally no jump whatsoever if he does it when he's going down. We want this conveyor belt again, make our little mini jumps, and we're good there. I'm gonna go off to the side because that guy can kill me. Same with this guy. They have weird movements. First checkpoint, that's always awesome. In practice, I died there like 3 times, so I'm glad we got through that on the first go round. Almost up for another one up. We now have 49 lives. Let's go. We're gonna need them all. And we got smacked. There we go. Back to 48. Let's go. That guy's tough because you don't want to spin. I'm gonna get this. I want the. Okay. I want the helmet there, please, and thank you. If you spin, you die because there's no floor underneath you, right? So I try to go off to the side. I normally want to jump on him. I just came up short for whatever reason it was. This dude here, I have to like jump around. He's not the only case I have to actually jump around for. This enemy right here is the same way. So he kind of went left, so or right, I'm gonna go left. I don't know my left from my right, I'm sorry. My apologies, I'm not holding my fingers up, that's all. Jumping on the conveyor belt. This section here normally is faster if we die, like if we kill ourselves. Alright, I'm killing myself, okay. Let's just do that instead. It's been a little bit since I've done this the right way. But you can actually do this section without stopping if you're on the right pattern. I'm only paused there for a brief moment, so not too bad. And the last section's coming up here. We're not going to risk it. There's a little faster strat as well. At the very end, we can kind of skip a jump or like this go really fast on these jumps, but we're going to actually pause and wait and make sure that we actually can get the jump. So normally you can actually jump and I could run straight off that platform instead of waiting for it to go up, but we're going to wait just to be safe. I have been short on that jump a few times in the past, so we're good. Okay, now we're in Pack-It-In 3. Pack-It-In 3 is probably the worst boss in the game if you consider this a boss. This isn't really even a boss. I had aspirations, I will say this, I had aspirations of doing this blindfolded and I just didn't have enough time, so... all you have to do here is go on the correct boxes when they go on the boxes. So that's it there. So this is the perfect time for the host. If you guys have anything to read here, that would be fantastic.
Okay, yep, thank you very much indeed. I would like to remind everyone that, again, we're raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. 27,755 donated so far, so please keep your donations coming in. Remember also that your donations get you towards a couple of our prizes. So if you get a minimum donation of $25 and a minimum donation of $35, that'll put you in the running for our fantastic ViewSonic monitors. So please consider that when you're putting your donations in. It'd be greatly appreciated. We've also got some fantastic runs coming up as well, some fantastic incentives. So please keep your donations coming in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. We're coming on the end here, so again, we just match the boxes. It's basically a matching game. You're going to see here the boss just, like, again, we don't call it a boss, just flies up, and then yellow just falls on the, you know, whatever, and that's the end of the stage. So there we go. All right, so now we're in Warehouse Woes. All right, so this is an interesting stage. Casually, so these are some of the harder stages in the game in my honest opinion. So basically, it's 3 forklift stages. Yellow is driving a forklift. I don't really know why he's driving a forklift. I mean, I do remember watching the cutscenes the first time I played through this. Don't really remember any of the cutscenes outside of my oh shoot cutscene. So I don't know the lore behind that, so I can't fully explain it. But we're driving a forklift to go to the final area, which. Yeah, if this is all in M&M's factory, I would not want to work in this M&M's factory. That's for sure. So it is increased difficulty in our movement. These platforms are nice though because you don't actually have to worry about actually driving on them. If I drive straight through some gaps, which you're going to see me do, I was about to mention that. Let me clarify this first. If you drive over those gaps, you actually can keep going. There's some invisible walls. You can see that if you want to replay that back. I hit nothing. I will literally say I hit nothing. The game was just like, nope, you hit an invisible wall, and I hit an invisible wall. Some of them are on the left, some of them are on the right. You actually don't fully know. I've died plenty of times on random doors of just literally hitting nothing. His sprite was not next to the side of the door. I went right through, almost hit the red box, and the game was like, nah, you're not going to hit that. This probably got to go left, right, left, swerve around. Checkpoint's coming up on this spot, I think. So we just drive straight over. It lined up perfectly. Yep, here's another checkpoint. But these next 2 stages are basically the same. There's some of the longer stages when it comes to just actual length, not, you know, yellow running, just because we're driving for like 3 minutes constantly here. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else we want to talk about for a minute. Shout outs. I do want to give a shout out to Violin. I think it goes by Violin SR now. Was part of a small community that we picked up random games at the beginning of like every month, and this is why I began running M&Ms. We can talk about that. So we decided as a group of people to pick up random games on SRC. This was the first game that ever came up. It had like 5 or 6 runs at the time. And we're like, all right, it was last January, a year ago from January. We're like, hey, we're going to pick up M&Ms and we're going to have a little competition with it. And that's kind of what this turned into. The world record wasn't really optimized. They didn't have any deaths that I know of in the world record, but we really optimized the game. And a bunch of us actually traded world records back and forth. So it was a pretty fun month. We haven't had much competition in this game since then. But that's kind of like the reason why or why I decided to play M&Ms, was just to be like, all right, let's have a friendly competition amongst some different people and see who can have a better time at the end of the month. That's what kind of came down to. So it was pretty fun to take part in there, that's for sure.
Do you have time for a donation?
Yeah, go right on ahead.
Okay, we've received $5 from
Nice.
Richard Plays Stuff, who just says, oops, uh-oh. Thank you very much indeed for that generous donation,
Thank you
Richard.
for the donation.
Yeah, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All right, so we got to do a bunch of swerving around here. Some of those green guys are in some weird spots as well. We actually have the despawn. I got to get past them. It's kind of crazy. It's coming up here shortly. But other than that, yeah, this game is definitely a game. I've just crossed that gap. And if anyone's ever interested in playing this game, I'm 100% available any time that you guys or anybody wants to pick up this game and play it. It's definitely a great bad game. It's not a bad little speedrun once you get used to the physics and the jank. And it's always a funny game because people are like, oh my goodness, you're playing an M&M game and it's so bad. And I'm like, yes, it is very bad. But it's also pretty good when it comes down to a speedrun. It's not a terrible speedrun, for sure. So we're coming up what feels like probably the halfway part at this level. This level is incredibly long. This is the guy I'm talking about. We have to swerve way to the right there in order to like basically despawn him to get by him there. Dodge a couple of these boxes. This is an important checkpoint because I hate doing that spot that we just did. Okay, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer to the end of the stage here. The stage just goes on forever. And what's terrible about this stage is you can lose focus pretty easily because it is very mundane when you're just driving straight. And it's tough when you're on like PB pace or really good PB pace because you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to PB. But one death here costs you 15, 20, 30 seconds because the checkpoints are so far apart from each other. It is a massive time loss for that. So we're going to make sure we don't die at the end of the stage before we get to the boss. Because we do have a boss, even though, again, a lot of these bosses we don't actually hit. Technically, we only actually hit one boss. But we reached our door. We're finally done. Warehouse woes, no more. No more. All right. So now we are on this boss stage. So this boss is, again, just kind of an auto-scroller. So we just can't die, which obviously is, the point of most games that you're going to play. He drops boxes. You're going to see me do is swerve a ton. So I've only ever done it once. And it was in my first ever playthrough. So I thought, hey, we have to catch this robot thing, right? We got to catch it. No, you run in the back of it, you die. I was able to run into the back of it the first time I ever played this game. And I ended up dying. I realized that's not how it's supposed to be played. So when you swerve, you do slow down a little bit. So the closer I get, the harder it is to actually dodge. Even though he normally drops boxes at the same time, it's still hard to react because I don't have this fully memorized. As you can see, the boxes go back and forth. That's what happens when you die. And are we in a bad cycle now? Okay, we're good. It's been a little bit since I died, but people will actually take an intentional death at a certain spot, so you actually get farther back. So dying there is not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. And it was a quick death after the checkpoint as well. So I'm still going to swerve because I want to be as far back behind him as I can. So make sure we don't take any more unnecessary damage. After the blue box, he should speed up here shortly, I think. Come on, speed up. Are you speeding up? Did I read the wrong box? I read the wrong box. There he goes. There he goes. He speeds up. He literally blows himself up. And we're on to the final act. There we go. We're on to the final act. So, these 3 stages, again, these are, we'll get to, the boss is not very, very challenging, and we'll talk about that real quick when we get there. But these 2 stages are definitely the hardest stages in the entire game. This first stage of this act called the Shocking Truth, if I get into a bad spot on, I think, the second checkpoint, I could actually be stuck there for a minute. My problem is I get very impatient, so when I speedrun, as maybe a lot of speedrunners, when you die, you're always like, all right, I got to go faster to make up lost time. You are not going to make up lost time on this spot here. If you die, you die. You're just take the time loss and be patient. I like to try to catch up on my time, and that does not fly in this game, especially this stage. So we're hoping that I can get this power up. There should be power up coming up. And then I can actually keep that power up just in case for an emergency situation, which hopefully is not like this first section. So here's my power up. We're going to jump off a couple boxes, hopefully jump off this guy's head. Okay. If I run straight through, I take damage there, so we stop. And this is the part that I'm talking about. So these floors have electricity. If I try to go too fast, I will take damage. We're good. This is looking okay. So now I just can't miss a jump. I'm going to run straight through here. Please don't kill me. Okay. Okay. Now we're on the outside. We're on the outside world. This part is also bad. I can miss a jump. We're good. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We're going to lock it in for just a second here. Give me this checkpoint, please. All right. That's the hardest part to me of the stage. So the rest of this isn't too bad. In my opinion, it can still be a little tough. But there's no floor, as you can see. And I died. Cool. Momentum. Momentum is the name of the game. And Yellow just shot himself out of a cannon there when I wasn't expecting it. So that is why I died. We'll just blame the game for its mechanics. All right. Okay, where are they at? Where are they at? Okay, they're there. Good. So we time that there. We gotta grab this spring to jump. Sometimes these activate, please. Activate. We talk about jank. I didn't move any place else, right? I was there. Okay. But if I'm able to keep that spring jump, we actually can jump from the checkpoint to this spot here. And it'd be cool if I could pull this off, but I'm not probably going to be able to on purpose. You can actually die here and reach the checkpoint, reach the end of the stage. So it's pretty funny that I can get shot. So if I don't make the timing, you can get hit by the electricity and it shoots you forward, right? Well, it shoots you into the end screen, but on the bottom of the map. So you actually will get the death noise. You'll hear Yellow go, oh no. But we actually warp to the end of the stage and it counts as us beating the level. So I have done that in the middle of runs and just been like, oh my goodness, I just killed a run. And then we beat the level. So now we're in Shocking Truth 2. There is no floor, like random floor throughout. There's a lot of moving platforms, a lot of platforms. So this stage, again, is ramps up the difficulty tremendously here. We're up to 60 lives. I don't think we're going to reach the magical number here. I died one too many times for that. Reach the checkpoint. We actually go underneath this. We just spin through that guy and kill him. We're on this platform. Also, momentum. If I jump straight up and down, Yellow doesn't actually move with the platform. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. So all other janky momentum, as long as I just jump straight up or down, the momentum doesn't take me with it. I'm going to pause here. I could have maybe have caught that cycle, but I also could have got shot out of a cannon. So we'll just wait. No big deal here. We're going to go. Okay. Again, I'm just going to jump straight up and tap forward to make sure I stay there. I normally jump from that platform to reach this platform, but I'm just, again, we're gonna just be a little patient, Here's a box that we can jump up and down on, just again like a crash box, but I can't destroy that box. We can't actually destroy it for whatever reason. We're coming close to the next little part of the stage here. We're almost to the weird moving platforms coming up. Can I get through? Okay, we're through. Here we go. So these platforms are terrible. They move you, as you can see, they move you with the direction that they're moving. And every platform's like that. We will jump to this section. You cannot make it across. I feel like I've seen someone make it across, but I've never done it, so we're not going to try. We're going to ride this platform, and we're going to hit this checkpoint. If the checkpoint does not give you sound, you don't actually get the checkpoint. Fun fact. You can see the words checkpoint come up, but if you don't hear the audio cue, you actually did not get the checkpoint. So I have died numerous times like after that. So you saw me pause there. That's because we want to kill our momentum. And the end of the stage is right here. So can we finish this? Can we finish this? I think this was a deathless stage if I don't jinx myself right here. That's pretty good. Jumped over electricity. One more spot. We are going to wait because, yes, we have a helmet. That electricity could shoot us into the roof and kill us. Fantastic level. Fantastic level. Deathless. All right. So we're coming up on time here in probably about 30 to 45 seconds. Give or take how long the boss takes here. So basically load screen. So this boss, last stage of the game, we're going to run through here. We're going to jump on one section. We're going to jump across. Oops. I waited too long, unfortunately. We're going to delay. We're going to jump here. We're going to jump here. Then we're going to jump there. We're going to jump on this platform. When it moves, we're going to jump forward. And we're going to go to the right, to the middle, to the right, to the middle, jump around. And time is in 3, 2, 1. Time. Sorry about that. I delayed a little bit on that, but there it is. Oh. And I pressed it and skipped the cutscene. So my apologies, everybody. I fat fingered the X button. I actually wanted you to watch a little bit of the last cutscene as I was going to give my my thank yous. I'm not going to start the stage again and beat the final boss, so you can see that, even though it should take just a few seconds. But before I jump out of here, I want to thank ESA for letting me showcase M&M's, this absolutely amazing game. It was fun to run this game in front of you guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this terrible game. I do want to give one last shout out to any of my students. So I am a high school math teacher, and I am giving my students any extra credit if anybody's watching our run here. So hopefully some of you guys are starting to watch this run. So shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, if any of you guys are watching there. But guys, again, I appreciate everybody watching this. It was a lot of fun. And I think we're good. I've got nothing else.
Well, thank you very much indeed, King Rhodes. Absolutely fantastic run again. Really, really enjoyed it. Always a pleasure. So thank you so much for showing us that very interesting game that we had there. Okay, so we're just about to go to another intermission, folks. I'll be signing off, and I'll be leaving you with the wonderful Bladderfield next, who will be introducing the next run, which is going to be Yogo by Janglestorm. So we're just going for a quick break, but stay with us and keep those donations coming in. Thank you very much indeed. Cheerio for now.